What's up, guys? We're gonna brobeatz. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a pop beat. If you guys haven't subbed already, or turn post on the Zoom, you should do so. So those have it a lot. So let's hop right into it. So my BPM is 160. Something a little faster around here will be great for this. And we're just grabbing the scale. I'm just default to my F or my F sharp just because there's a lot of sounds here. We need to get through them. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. All right, so here is our first sound. Just a little custom sound. So what we need to do is make some pop styled chords or like pulsing chords. And I'm gonna try to make this as simple and generic as possible, just so it's really easy to follow, because the chords can be very difficult. All we need to do is just start with our first chord, right? So that's the F minor is given to us. So if you don't know how to make chords, you can come up here and just insert them, right? So minor, apply that. So once you have your chord built, or your bass chord, you need a +1. Okay, this is very important. You can complete the chord and make it a 7th, or you can be lazy and just place the very next note within the scale, right? So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna pull this down just to open it, right? And then we can just copy it over. And usually these go for about 2 bars. And let's actually make that a little bit faster, and then kind of chop them down a bit like this. All right, so now we have it set up, right? And one thing that is important is you need like a little break in between. So usually it's just like this little area, or we could just delete one and see what this sounds like. Something like that. So now that this is set up, we have the blueprint for everything down here, because to make our next chord, right, if we want this to be as easy as possible, we just take our root chord of our scale, which is F, highlight it, and let's move down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're like, oh snap, I don't know how to make chords. Just copy this and apply it to the C. All right, you just copy this and apply it here, delete that note so it doesn't double, and there you go. Now we need a +1, so we can just copy what we did over here and just literally +1 for the very next note that comes next, right? Or you can complete the chord. It's up to you. I'm gonna just do the same thing to be consistent. Pull it down an octave. All right, so that is the first half. So if you come over here, all right, and I'm trying to go slow because I don't know who's watching this. I don't know if it's a beginner, somebody, an expert. All right, it doesn't matter, right? But over here, we just copy it, and we can leave that little space there. Okay, and then let's readjust this so that it's the same rhythm. And then all you need to do is just change one line. You could change any line in here, whichever one sounds the best to you. I'm gonna just change the bottom one because this will be like the bass note kind of. So we could change this. And same thing, we'll just keep doing this, copy what we made over here. And then we can change any notes within this one and this one. Let's change these notes here. All right, and then we can delete this so this isn't the same, right? It's just slightly different. So let's play the whole thing. Okay, so those are the chords. That was the hardest part. So now let's go ahead and layer. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of make our chords come alive by just layering it. So I have these sounds here, and I'll play them individually, and I'll just show you the sound. So that's what that one sounds like, and this one, and I'll even pull this up an octave. Is that too high? Maybe not. All right, and let's play this solo. And that's the sound right there. All right, so let's play them all together. All right, very rich sounding. So now what we can do is get into the fun part, which is actually making a melody over this. All right, so now we're gonna do the melody. Now this is supposed to be advanced, so I'm not supposed to be explaining a lot, but I'll just give you some tips to like help you start the melody, or give you like a start point and an end point. So what you can do is use the first chord of your scale, right? So that's F minor. Let's drag that in. And these are the notes you will be guiding yourself with, okay? These notes. Now for the second half, and you don't have to use every single one, but like I said, it's a guide. It's a range of notes to use. You go octave to octave. So you take this F, copy it again, and pull it up an octave. Now, if you want to resolve the melody, typically it will go down, right? It'll go up like this and then kind of resolve back to this middle note. Typically, you don't have to do that, but that's just typically what happens. So this is first half, second half. And you can kind of spread things out if you want like this and use whatever notes. So let's just put this in practice. Let's do something like this. Let's chop this up. And let's do something like this. And I'm gonna take this G and pull it over and kind of use this as something. So now let's take this, move it over, and then we can quantize this, Control Q, and Alt U to chop it. And then what I'd like to do is hold Alt and just bring it back so it's not so harsh, or not that it's so harsh, but so it like chops right. And then from here, if you're lost, you can look over here and pull this over, or you can just make a chord out of it, right? Either way, it's up to you if you want to go up, down. So as if we're making a chord here, and you can see this is all in harmony. So we can move this over, and then we can copy some of these elements over just to be lazy. Oops. All right. Let's play that. All right, so that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward the second part because it's pretty much the same thing, just choosing different notes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is the second half, okay? All right, so that is the melody, and we could just copy this over here because we spent enough time on the melody. So let's go ahead and add our bass, and then we can add our drums. All right, so now we're gonna do the bass line. Now I want to take this opportunity to show you a trick because I can't make a specific video over this because it'll be like 30 seconds long. So let's just say you want to take this bass line, right? Or not say you want to, but let's say you do take this, right? Right, it's perfect. It sounds perfectly in sync with, you know, the chords we made and everything. But if you want to use other notes, that's what the problem is. It's like, okay, what notes do I use? Right? And too many times, you know, you try to trust your ear and you're like, let me see which one sounds better, right? But doing this method gets very annoying once you have to do it for every single one. And I think, was this on the G? I don't know. But what you can do is create a chord from these notes. And the reason you do that is so you know that it's in harmony, right? So if we make a chord here, we know that one of these notes will work as a kind of substitute and give us other options, right? We could do it that way, or we can make a chord backwards like this, and we can use one of these notes. So you see this note is the first note, right? So let's try this F, and let's pull it up an octave. And then over here, let's just take this little section, and then let's see, let's go down. And then we could use, let's use this D sharp because it kind of looks like it'll go in a good rhythm, and let's play it. Right, sounds just as good as the first one. And so now with this trick, you can kind of have open the door to other sounds, right? Rather than just sticking to their generic bass line method. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this to an actual bass line, and I'll show you the result after. So okay, so here's the bass line. Obviously I just put them in the right spots, and then I just took these and pulled them up an octave just so it's a little different. Just play it. All right, so that is the bass line, and let's move on to the drums. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do the drums. Now, a lot of this is gonna be very boring, so I'll speed through it, but I won't speed it up so fast to where you can't see what's going on. And if I do anything interesting, I'll make sure to show it. So, you know, we can just throw this in, and I just wanna give you kind of a summary of how to do this, because some people may not know. So basically, with these drums, I got a lot of them. Kind of regretting picking this many, but you basically want to play everything one after one another, right? So these are your pillars, your snares, your claps, your kicks, and we can even add like a decent hi-hat pattern. You just want to play things after one another, so we could do something like this, you know, stuff like that, right? Something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do my own little pattern, and then I'll show you after. Okay, so these are the drums. The only things that I did that was kind of interesting was this. And I just add these little claps. All right, so those are the drums, the main ones. And now we kind of got like a little breakdown type, like trap drums. So let's go ahead and do those. All right, so now we have our second set of drums. Now, again, I might fast forward a little bit through this because I'm gonna do something. I'm literally gonna just make this the most generic, like trap drums, like literally just this, and maybe something like that. I don't know. Okay, that's literally what I'm gonna do. Except I'm gonna just change a little few things, but I'm gonna go ahead and run with that. Okay, so here are our trap drums. Here's the bass melody. It's just simplified from the first one. And, you know, just the generic drums in here. Here's the hi-hats. It's a little something right here. All right, and I'll just play it through. All right, so those are the drums. So now what we're gonna do is just kind of preview it and just kind of lay this all out so we kind of listen to the whole thing. All right, so I went ahead and laid everything out just so we can listen to everything all together. So I'm gonna start it from here and we just play it. And that's pretty much it. So that's gonna be it for this one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.